Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlimle in Accra at digital address GA0993341 on Joy 99.7 FM. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G. Just a touch. Coming up, no food to eat, no water to drink. Scores of people, including children, displaced following renewed clash between Konkombas and Chokosis in Tripoli that left one person dead.
Even this moments ago, 2 villages are burned.
Do we have children among them?
Children are there, women are there with pregnancy. They can't walk. How do you walk on Tripoli and cross the Togo? That is very, very, very alarming.
We're live on the ground and speak live to chairman of the Intra-Peace Committee there as police hold 4 persons in custody. And as East Legon Police Command begins investigations into alleged attack and death threats against leader of the Glorious Word and Power Ministry, Reverend Isaac Owusu-Bempah, we'll get to hear from the man of God who is denying the claim, saying he only went there for peace.
My good intentions and my search for peace is what has landed me in this situation.
We have details. We also have sports.
And veteran coach Jay Sapon says Kumasi and Tukotoko deserve commendation despite failing to progress from the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup.
And later in the bulletin, it was an adventure best described as thrilling.
Oh, it's cool. I was scared, but it was nice. Are you enjoying the place?
I am. So far, so good.
We'll get to hear from patrons of Joy FM's Fantastic Four adventure as they share their experience after the encounter on the Treasure Island. We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. We settle for the details now, and scores of people, including children, have been displaced with no food to eat and water to drink following the renewed clash between Konkombas and Chokosis in Tripoli over the weekend. One person was shot in the resurgence of violence in Tripoli in the northeast region. Police says the victim is responding to treatment whilst 4 persons have been arrested. Here's police PRO for the northern region, DSP Mohammed Yusuf Tanko.
Yesterday, we arrested 4 persons in connection with the violence that has broke out at Tripoli area involving the Chokosis and the Konkombas. We have a lot of men on the ground. We are also making efforts to transport more men from Tamale and other places to go and add up to the number there so that we'll be able to patrol large areas and ensure that we bring the situation under control.
You have the Northern Regional Police Command DSP Mohammed Yusuf Tanko. Now, with tension still high in the area, residents have been forced to flee for safety. Many of them, including children, have had no water or food since the violence began. Some of them say they had to rely on the police officers present for water. A spokesperson for the resident tells Joy News they are being moved to safety.
Madam, more than 100 houses have been burned.
So where are these people sleeping and how are they?
Some are in Togo. Others are in the Chokosis, some of them are in Tripoli and Wuntege. These are bigger communities. The Konkombas, some of them are also entered Taboba, some are in Togo, some are also in Bunkuru district. Displaced, no food, no place to sleep, no shelter. So it is devastating. It is alarming. It is alarming. Even this moments ago, 2 villages are burned.
Do we have children among them, and do we have women among them?
Madam, you will realize that, for example, a Konkomba family with 2 wives, you can be talking about 10 to 15 children. So for children, even if you look at Facebook, people, including police, are posting children. Men have to give them water to drink. Children are there, women are there with pregnancy. They can't walk. How do you walk on Tripoli and cross the Togo? That is very, very, very alarming, madam. I don't know the word to use. The situation is very bad. There are few communities left in Tripoli. Many are burned. Frankly speaking.
That's a resident there who speaks for the Tripoli residents, and he's been describing how dire the situation is. Meanwhile, NADMO officials say they have been unable to provide assistance to displaced persons because they cannot access the area. Alhaji Abdullahi Hindu is Regional NADMO Director.
So that from now it is very difficult for us because the fighting is still ongoing. So even for NADMO to even get access to do the assessment is a problem. So not until this situation is normalized. That is where maybe we can get the update. But for now we will not be able to tell exactly what is happening. But all that we know, some communities that maybe we can mention about sector and all this. But we will not be able to tell exactly what transpired over there for right now. Because the shooting and the fighting is still going on. And the NADMO are not allowed to even go inside. It's only the security that are inside. Until this situation is normalized, before we can go in.
You have the Alhaji Abdullahi Hindu is the regional NADMO director. Let's get on the line now and speak to chairman of the Intra-Peace Committee for Tripoli, Chief Alhaji Bawa Anazi. We are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So with all the work that this committee has done, how did we go back to an escalation? Hello, Alhaji.
Yes, please.
If you can hear me, I'm asking about the work that your committee has done and how come we've gone back to an escalation of the situation.
In fact, madam, I'm not hearing you well.
Let's try again, Alhaji. Can you hear me now?
The station.
Okay, we'll have to try again. Alhaji Bawa Anazi is unable to hear us. We'll get to hear from him shortly. But let's listen to the assemblyman for the area.
In fact, the situation is worrying. It's worrying. But a lot of people have been displaced, and then they are now, even we don't even have a place to speak. People are all over. They spread. People are somewhere in the city, and then other nearby communities, and in fact, there is no space for them to even speak. So, in fact, for that one, it's a serious problem.
So, how are they surviving?
In fact, for that one, it is a problem because now others are now with their relatives in the northern communities. Others don't even have the place to go. So some of them are around, they are in the bush. And others are around the area, they don't even know where to go. They are hungry. People are suffering a lot. We don't know. Any attack, any movement, they are trying to attack us. And then the military too, they are not helping us. In fact, yes, all our food sites have been burned, our houses have been burned, we don't have any place to live, we don't have to eat. So we are suffering. So we are appealing to the government to come and then any other NGOs come and support us.
So that's an assemblyman of the area. Let's try again and speak to the chairman of the Intra-Peace Committee for Tripoli, Chief Alhaji Bawa Anazi. Mr. Anazi, if you can hear me, you've been on the ground surveying the situation. Police has told us that calm has returned to the area. What can you tell us from where you stand?
In fact, the situation here is not yet calm.
The situation is not calm as we speak?
Pardon?
I'm asking about how calm the situation is according to the police. You're saying that the situation is not calm?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the situation currently as we speak?
In fact, when you are at right of now, you are hearing that some people, this community is going to be attacked. This community is being to attack, and people are just running up and down like that.
But Alhaji, from your interaction with residents, what is the cause of this recent escalation of the situation?
It was one young boy that he was shot in the night around 7 getting to 8.
Was shot by who, do we know?
Pardon?
I'm asking, do we know who shot him?
Well, we couldn't find the fellow who shot him actually. Because it was in the night.
Okay, but as chairman of the Intra-Peace Committee, we know that you've done some work. How did we get here again with all the work that you've done?
What do I?
I'm asking how we got back to this escalation of the situation between the Tripoli and the Chokosis, because we know that you've been trying to broker peace between the two communities. How did we get back to this situation?
In fact, we were running up and down. It has even getting to an end, and this thing has just happened.
Okay, so you have okay.
We were to have joint meeting with the chiefs of Saboba and Chiriponi district, so that everything will be settled, and then It was the chief match which delayed the time.
Okay, so that's the chairman of the Intra-Peace Committee for Tripoli, Chief Alhaji Bawa Anazi. Let's get to Parliament because my colleague Joseph Opoku Gakpo is currently with the Northern Regional Minister. We'll get some reaction to the latest situation. Also, we'll get details of that Appointments Committee sitting that's currently underway. So, Joseph, I understand where you are with the Northern Regional Minister. What's his reaction to the recent situation in Tripoli and Chokosi?
So, Emefa, the Northern Regional Minister, the Honorable Salifu, is joining us briefly. You tell me that there's been the deployment of enough security to the ground in Tripoli in order to bring the state.
There's a lot of security on the ground that has been able to contain the situation. Yes, but it means that they have been able to cage the place in such a way that those who will want to hide either under the cover of darkness to make unusual movements that would lead to attacks of people or properties or communities will not happen.
People have been displaced, children, people carrying their bags and running around, and it's been recurring. Is there any permanent solution that you can bring to bear and help stop any further escalation?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. Now, currently, the NADMO officials are taking stock to make sure that the relief items is sent. That's what we're saying. Even some relief items has already been there as a backup. When the first one happened, some distribution was done. So immediately I instructed that to send them to the community. But with regards to not happening, that is why we need to get the key stakeholders, the leadership from the two ethnic communities to come together, bring their own approach. What is it that they think that we can bring permanent solution to it? Apart from that, we blend it with the expert security advice.
Joseph, if you can hear me, I would want you to find out from the Northern Regional Minister. He talked about NADMO trying to bring some relief items to these residents. We've just heard from one of the coordinators, the Regional NADMO Director. He says that they don't have access to these displaced persons to even provide assistance to them. How does he respond to that?
Identify the perpetrators of the double act, and those who are self-found with offensive weapons will be dealt with.
That's another Regional Minister, Said Salifu there.
Hello, Joseph. Just quickly before you let him off, I was asking you earlier that he made reference to NADMO bringing some assistance to these displaced persons. But from what we are hearing from the Regional NADMO Director, they are unable to get access to these displaced persons. So how does he reconcile the fact that they are already providing relief assistance to them?
So he's actually gone, but he's indicated that further steps will be taken to ensure the appropriate relief gets to the people in the country.
Joseph Opoku Gakpo, but stay with us, Joseph, because the North will stay longer in the North because the Minister Designate for the Savannah region, Salifu Adams Brahima, says a committee has been set up to investigate violence that broke out over the announcement of Salaga as regional capital last month. He says the move is to ensure a long-term solution to incidents of violent protests over political decisions which dates back to the time of Professor Mills as president. It will be recalled that NPP youth in Salaga bent their party office and destroyed property after Damongo was announced as regional capital. The Minister Designate has been responding to questions about that at the sitting of the Appointments Committee.
We all must find a way of going over those things. I remember when the top governors appointed a GC during his time, the reaction was that the party office, just like NPP party office it was touched, but quickly it was doused. So we have to try to educate our people to bring their emotions down. Overreacting and banning is not. We are right to get angry over something, but going forward to do those kind of things, banning, that's why we all must take it up, educate our people. That's not the way to go. Fortunately, the regional minister is here. He set up a committee. The security agencies are handling it. I hope if I'm passed, it will be part of the handing over those. I'm concerned about that place because that's my constituency. We are politicians. If it's not handled very well, it can attack me. So I will passionately go into it. And like I said, the chiefs themselves are handling it.
You heard that the Minister Designate for the Savannah region, Salifu Adams Brima, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, our parliamentary correspondent, is still with us on the line. He's been monitoring proceedings at the Appointments Committee as well. So the Minister has also been urging residents to manage their expectations as the new region is created. Tell us more about it.
He makes the point that the 20 million seed money, for example, that was given to the region, like all the other regions, would, as people can expect, not be enough to help facilitate development in the enclave. And so he makes the point that the creation of a region would not necessarily translate into the immediate developmental project in the area. But he says he will work as seriously as he can with various district assemblies to ensure locals get the necessary development that they've been expecting.
Expectations are very, very high. And I see when the president said he was in a hurry, I would like to say he was referring to Savannah region. We need a Savannah region yesterday. We have a lot of potential in terms of tourism, fertile lands, mineral resources like limestone, salt and boya. But with managing the expectations, first is to bring governance closer to the people and ensure accelerated development. But we know government alone cannot do it. So it behooves on all of us to manage the expectations of people. Getting a region doesn't mean necessarily that everybody is going to have things coming the way we want it. So that's why we all must come together, especially we have to bring in the media and maybe the NCC to manage the expectations of people. For instance, the seed money of 20 million they are talking about, people think it's enough to do a lot of things, but we see it as something like maybe just to kickstart. The paradox is, I said, Savannah region is well endowed with resources. So it's for us to now see how we can get investors both in and out. Bigger landers are ready to take the challenge, ensure that the peak development that we need and that with measured expectations of our people.
Minister Designate for the Savannah region, Salifu Adams Brima. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM around the country, on our affiliates across the country, and also around the world at myjoyonline.com. You can also watch us live on Facebook. We turn our attention to some other stories now because the East Legon District Police Command has begun investigations into the case involving leader of the Glorious Word and Power Ministry, Reverend Isaac Owusu-Bempah, and XYZ radio presenter Salifu Mase. Both men filed complaints at the police station after a misunderstanding ensued between the two last Friday. Officials of Radio XYZ say the preacher stormed the offices with armed men threatening to kill one of its presenters, Salifu Mugabe Mase. Workers at the station say the renowned pastor claimed he was there to confront Mugabe, who had reportedly threatened his life.
Hey, hey, I'm you for black. I'm not political. Hey, I am station of Betnaya. On no swab, my mother and public. Would you put this? I'm going to so Mamma was
Now, management of the station have reported the matter to the police. Kofi Opon-Samwa is lead producer for XYZ.
Mugabe has already threatened that he's going to sack him Owusu-Bempah from Ghana, and at least he's coming in for him to do so, and also tell him that he should get ready because he's going to kill him. He said this emphatically, that we should read his lips, say he's going to end the life of Mugabe Mase because he can't go about saying certain things about him which are totally untrue. Well, these bodyguards, about four of them, and I was wondering why they were having pistols on them. They had communication traffic jammer on them, and they were heavily built. So far, nothing happened. They didn't touch anybody. No one was hurt. No property was vandalized. And as we speak now, we are at the East Legon Police Station making official complaint to the police.
Kofi Opon-Samwa is lead producer for XYZ. Well, earlier today, Mr. Owusu-Bempah denied the claims when he spoke on Accra-based NEET FM. We'll get to hear from him shortly. Meanwhile, the Ghana Journalists Association has condemned the attack and called on police to investigate the matter. Kofi Yeboah is GJA secretary.
December 13, 2018, there was a similar report about Owusu-Bempah going to Hot FM, also based in Accra, to vandalize some studio equipment there. So if you add the two incidents, you get the impression that the guy is gaining some notoriety of a violent person, and so it was important for the law to check him up. And we believe that even if you put the rule of law aside, and you even engage the very forum which he thrives on, being the Bible. The Bible does not condone violence in any way. And in our press statement, we have cited the example in the Old Testament where God had to rebuke Cain for killing his brother Abel. And then in the New Testament, when Jesus was being arrested and Peter had pulled out a sword to slash the ear of one of the captors of Jesus Christ, and Jesus told him to put back his sword into its place, and that whoever draws the sword shall die by the sword. Believing. So if there is any other spirit that is spurring him on, then we are calling on the Christian bodies and Christendom in general to rescue him.
That's GJA Secretary Kofi Yeboah. We can now hear from the founder and leader of the Glorious Word and Power Ministry, Reverend Isaac Owusu Bempah.
I should have gone to the police to report, but we are all in the same neighborhood. Sometimes I even give the boys in front of the station money. So I felt it was not right to go to the police station to report Mugabe for insulting me, when I could go to the station and speak to management to call Mugabe to order so that we could continue to live in peace. My good intentions and my set for peace is what has landed me in this situation.
You heard the founder and leader of the Glorious Word Chapel, Reverend Owusu Bempah. We'll take a quick break, but these are the stories we've covered so far. Scores of people, including children, displaced following renewed clash between Konkombas and Chokosis in Tripoli that left one person shot dead. But we've been hearing from the Northern Regional Minister, who says that security has been beefed up to avoid another escalation. And later in the bulletin, it was an awesome adventure, best described as thrilling.
It's cool. I was scared, but it was nice. Are you enjoying the place?
I am. So far, so good.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Let's do some sports now. And Ridwan has the very latest.
Yes, on the back of a weekend, what we normally do is football. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko let a winning position slip after taking the lead, but conceded 2 goals in 2 minutes to lose 2-1 to Zambian side Zesco United and got eliminated from the CAF Confederation Cup. They came close but crashed on the cups of qualification when they needed a win to progress. Nonetheless, experienced coach Jay upon things Kotoko deserves, some pat on the back under the prevailing circumstances of no domestic football in the country.
Although they are out of the competition, I think we'll have to praise them for where they have reached. Remember, their mandate was to get to the group stage, and I think they have achieved what they want to do. But to go further was just like a plus. But for me, up at this stage, they have to be united now and then see the way forward for Kotoko. Nkana and others are also good teams, and Kotoko played against good teams. But if you look at the preparation of the three, Kotoko was short of enough preparation. Don't forget that Zesco, Nkana and others came from the Champions League down to the Confederation Cup. So that's why I'm saying that Kotoko did well, and coming from the fact that we don't have even a serious league being played in this country.
We've got more discussion on Kotoko's campaign in the Confederation Cup. That's coming up on top of the hour with Gary Al Smith and the rest of the team.
That's it with the latest in the world of sports. Thank you, Ridwan. Now, it's been 25 days and counting, and the two main political parties, the governing NPP and the NDC, are yet to meet 3 clear weeks after President Akufo-Addo directed them to do so on modalities for disbanding political militias. Although the NPP had assured it will send an official letter of invitation to the NDC last week, it is yet to do so. As you know, the opposition party has proposed mediators for the dialogue. Executive Director, Institute for Democratic Governance, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, agrees. He says the dialogue on disbanding political party militias must necessarily include mediators. He spoke on Newsfile.
I think it's more than a week now. It's 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 21 days. So,
you see,
today is 22 days, I think.
Yes, but I think that's the lesson we learn. The matter of these violent vigilantes and what they've done, it's not a party, just a party. It's the state matter. It violates the law.
So must
it touches on.
Leave
You
it to
see,
the party?
so the question is.
That's the question.
Yes. So the approach that it should be left with the party, for the parties to sort out in terms of the dialogue. I think we've seen the lesson that it's the first time we're doing this anyway, but you see, for a dialogue...
And they said IDEC. They want IDEC to remediate.
Well, for a dialogue, you need to set processes for the conversation. In fact, rules of engagement has to be agreed. Even they have to agree on the teams on both sides.
Right.
I don't like this person, this and that. There's a lot of that in what is going on.
What should happen?
What should happen? What should happen now is that I think maybe the two parties, I believe, are sizing themselves out. The dialogue is going to be both bilateral and multilateral. But the two, because they are the powers, have to agree on how the thing is set up and the rules that will govern them and where and so on.
You heard there the Executive Director of the Institute for Democratic Governance, IDEC, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, speaking on Newsfile. Well, the campaign to disband party militias now is still on. Is the hashtag disband party militias now. Now, the head of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative in Africa, Mina Mensah, wants government to urgently set up an independent investigative body to probe recent wave of brutalities meted out to ordinary people by police personnel. Last week's attack on some 3 journalists and other similar incidents have raised questions about the police's internal systems designed to protect civilians and ensure they get justice. You recall the incident involving the assault on 3 Ghanaian Times reporters? Listen to 2 of them who were assaulted.
His colleague policemen, when they came to the scene, instead of asking what was going on, they rather joined their colleague and beat Malik mercilessly to the extent that blood was coming out of his nose. They even put him on a certain method and they were hitting him. So when I saw it, I thought Malik would even die. And the policeman, who was very close to him at the time, used his elbow to hit my stomach. Like when he was pulling my bag from me, he used his hand to hit my stomach still. And then I started feeling pains right there because I recently underwent a cesarean session. So I started feeling dizzy and then I fell down.
One of the Ghanaian Times reporters assaulted by police. Now, speaking to Joy News, the human rights advocate insists until Interior Ministry shows renewed interest establishing the body, citizens may continue to take the law in their own hands, threatening the security of the state.
You can't ask an institution to police itself. It's normally very difficult. Apart from that, like saying that somebody should be a judge and a jury in his own court, even if the person does a good job, sometimes for an institution like the police, people are even afraid to go and complain to the police themselves about something that the policeman has done. So, for the purposes of ensuring that democratic principles are respected, it is good to have an independent body to oversee all these things. But from where I'm standing, I do not think that the Ministry of Interior is really interested in setting up anything of the sort.
You heard the head of the Commonwealth Human Rights Initiative in Africa, Mina Mensah, there. Now, for anyone who loves playing around water and the fun that comes with it, then the Treasure Island may have been the ideal place to be this weekend. Unfortunately, if you missed it, better luck next time. Joy News' Selinam Ampo takes you all the way to the coast of Adar with some patrons of Joy FM's Fantastic Four Adventures.
It is large, it is brown, and it is a huge treasure chest that welcomes us as we dock on the Treasure Island. For patrons, there was nothing as terrific as going on an island the first time.
Welcome to Treasure Island, where all the magic is about to happen. Have you ever been to Treasure Island?
No, madam.
So why are you going to Treasure Island this time?
I want to have a feel of...
With our bright orange life jackets back home, we were eager to zoom off to the island, promising of treasures and exciting water activities. The jet skis, a swimming pool with a water slide, boats and canoes to the Volta estuary, all added to the adventures and joy the island presented.
If you're a thrill seeker just like me, then the beautiful Treasure Island may be just the right vacation haven for you. But the highlight of this island is this water slide. So how's the place been so far?
This is my first time over here and I think it's very wonderful and I think everybody should try it, you know.
And like the president said, we should discover Ghana because there's so much things to see here. So.
Nice. I'm having fun, a lot of fun here. I'm very excited. At the pool. Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I was scared, but it was nice. Are you enjoying the place?
I am. So far, so good. But I'm still looking forward to going to the estuary.
Well, if you missed out on that fantastic photo, you still have an opportunity to join us this weekend to Izu Lezu. What's trending on social media, Maps?
Well, people are talking about Owusu Bempah on Twitter, and at Pounds Boga says, but why is the GJA calling for the arrest of Owusu Bempah whilst they failed to sanction their workers to not verbally abuse personalities? And at Kweku_AY says, Rev Owusu Bempah always getting himself involved in all of these things. And Ajete_Fio says that calling for the arrest of Owusu Bempah is the right move. And at Collins EQ says, but you won't condemn Owusu Bempah because he's the president's prophet.
And that's it for the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. You want more news? Log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a good afternoon. I am Emefa Apau.